Hello there, my fishy friends. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to teach you how to make chum caviar. Chum caviar is just salt-cured chum eggs, and it's delicious. It's really good on toast with some dill. It's good on crackers. It's really good on a variety of sushi dishes, and just an all-around great way to enjoy a part of the fish that many people just cut up for bait or just throw in the river. And chum caviar is exported widely to Japan. It's the #1 commercial value in a chum salmon. And it's kind of a shame to waste that when really it is quite enjoyable. The taste is really a lot like, I would say it's like salty egg yolks. It's really not really very fishy. If you like your eggs kind of runny, then you'll probably enjoy chum caviar very much. So let's go through the supplies that you will need. To salt cure the eggs, you will need some sort of pickling salt. So this is a coarse sea salt. You can just use regular rock salt too, like anything meant for pickling or canning with no iodine in it. You will need obviously some chum eggs. So these chum eggs have been water hardened. So at the river, I filled this bag up. It's a nice clean bag, and I made sure the eggs stayed clean. I put it in river water, and that hardens the shells, and that allows you to get the shells out of the skein without breaking them. You can also do this at home. You can just put clean tap water in your eggs, and that will also harden them. But some of these eggs I'm going to be using for bait, and some of them we're going to be using for eating. And apparently, I've been told by several people, if you use river water, it somehow tastes or smells slightly different to the fish than using tap water. And I don't know how they can tell the difference, but fish really do have an amazing sense of smell. So there you go. I hardened these in river water. Our river is high right now and super clean, straight from the mountains. I have no concerns about this being contaminated in any way, but obviously if your river is going through a bunch of beaver dams or something, you would not want to use river water to harden your eggs and then cure them. The whole process here, I try and keep everything super clean and super food safe so that I have a superior product to use at home. So the next thing I will need is some sort of a sieve. I'm using a classifier. This is meant for gold panning, but I use it to separate the eggs. Any kind of coarse screen like this will work great. If you don't have a screen, you can use a spoon to scrape the eggs out of the skein, but a screen like this makes it fast, simple, and easy. You will need a colander of some sort to let the things drip dry at the end. Any kind of kitchen colander or sieve or strainer will work. You will need some glass bowls for everything, or you can use plastic bowls or metal bowls too. I don't think it really matters, but I kind of like the look of glass, and in this video you'll be able to see what's going on. And I have sterilized some little jars. I just boiled these in water for 10 minutes. Make sure everything is nice and clean. And I have made here a saturated salt solution. So you'll see this in the bowl a little bit. Basically, I was boiling water and I was adding salt until no more salt would dissolve. There's a little bit of salt in the bottom there. I don't know if you can see it. Basically, saturated solution, and I boiled that and let it cool off. I have also done it without boiling a lot of times, and it works just fine. I don't know. Trying different things here. So that's it. Step 1 is to separate the eggs from the skein, and so all I do is grab a bunch of eggs and I rub them on the screen here. Let me get you maybe a better view of it here. So yeah, I'm just rubbing them back and forth across the screen. And what's going to happen is the membrane with some of the eggs is going to get left behind. And if you want to harvest every last little egg, the last little bit is time consuming. But I have no shortage of eggs, so basically this last little bit that's a little bit hard to separate from the skein, I just throw those out. So yeah, we'll just keep going like that. So now that I've got all the eggs separated from the skein, I'm going to put them in the strainer and I'm going to rinse them with cold water. So here are my rinsed eggs, and in here is my saturated salt solution. And these eggs are gonna go in there for about 15 to 20 minutes. And what's gonna happen in that time is first, the salt water is going to draw some of the juice out of the egg, and then the eggs will reabsorb some of the salt water. It's just a process of osmotic pressures. And that's really all there's to it. So here we have the finished product. I rinsed these eggs off, I strained them, and I let them drip dry for about 15 minutes. Now it's ready to go in the fridge. The best time to consume them is 2 to 3 days after you've cured them. The shell of the egg tends to sort of soften up a little bit. The flavor kind of evens out, and after 3 days, that's the peak time. It's only good in the fridge for about 7 to 10 days. After that, these eggs tend to go bad. If you want to save them for consuming later, then pop them in the freezer. And a day or two before you want to use them, just take them out of the freezer. That way they're good for 3 to 6 months. But yeah, in the fridge, you can smell when they've gone bad. It doesn't take long. Usually after about a week, you don't really want to be eating them anymore. Every time you dip in to take a couple of spoonfuls out, there's a chance of contamination and they just tend not to last. So if you're using these eggs for bait, put them in your saturated salt solution. So this is the salt water that I was curing them in. Now these eggs that are suspended in here, these will last in the fridge for, I would say, about 3 months. So like it's early November, so these are going to be good for half my steelhead season or so. So every time I want to tie up a couple of roe bags, I just take some eggs out, tie up some roe bags, and they're good to go. Makes for an awesome bait. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you have any of your own caviar recipes, put them in the comments. I'd love to learn from you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.